What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Hanging in there? We're almost done.
Almost there.
I mean, this event has been pretty cool, huh? Yeah. I mean, the speakers and the information and the value, we got to do more stuff like this in Hawaii, right? Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I am Tristan, and this is my very handsome better half.
Take it easy.
Come on, hi. We're a husband and wife team. We're real estate investors here on Oahu. We primarily fix and flip here. We buy and hold on the mainland, and we love creative finance, but we're not going to talk about that today. But the reason why I think we're so passionate about what we do is very similar to Zasha and how she left it off, was we wanted to create generational wealth and create an impact. And that's why we chose real estate as a vehicle to do that, but more so that's why we chose to scale our business. So when they asked us to speak, we're like, well, what the heck are we going to talk about? You know, like, I don't know. So we said, well, let's talk about how we just did that, how we scaled our business to what it is today. And when we looked at ourselves, we're like, I don't know, we just rushed through it. Like, I don't know, just worked really hard and then that's it. Okay, bye. Yeah, but we sat down and we thought about it, and he's going to tell you the 4 things.
Yeah. So I think as entrepreneurs, for us anyway, like we put our head down and we just grind. Right? Like we're just going full speed ahead. So when we took a look back, we're like realized real quickly that one year we did 2 deals. The very next year we did 17. And we looked at ourselves and we're like, okay, we need to figure out what we did to potentially duplicate that again, right? So we came up with these very 4 specific things, and I think sharing these things with you, and I wanna let you guys know, because yeah, we do have some experience and we've been doing this for a while, and this is how we scaled, but these things right here will also work for a brand new investor. Somebody that's just getting into the game can implement these things to find their first deal, right? So the 4 things are 3 M's and an N.
I couldn't find a last
We couldn't figure out another
so
M.
You guys get 3 M's and an N.
Yeah, we got 3 M's and an N. So they are mindset, mentorship, marketing, and networking.
Okay, say it. Mindset, mentorship,
Meetups, there we go.
Marketing.
See?
Networking, meetups. Hi,
Yeah,
I needed to call
fail.
you.
That's a fail.
Okay, it's gonna be 4 M's the next time you guys hear us talk about this. Okay, so the first one, mindset. I know you guys probably hear about this all the time. Yeah, mindset, work on your mindset, personal development. But when I tell you that it is the most important thing that you will ever do in your life, not only in your business, but in your life, I genuinely mean that. And when we first started, we realized very early on that if we don't figure out this, we're not going to be successful at all in anything. You guys, your mind, you already own that. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to go raise money for it. You don't have to do marketing. You own it. It's the most important piece of real estate that you will ever own, is the 6 inches between your ears, your mind. It's free. All you got to do is renovate it, just like us as investors, we already do. We specialize in that. We renovate it. We renovate stuff. And nobody teaches us, right? We all went to school up until whatever grade y'all went to school till, but nobody teaches you how to work on this. Nobody really talks about entrepreneurship and personal development, so it's something that we have to work on. We have to renovate it. We got to demo this thing. This thing is old and rackety, right? We got to get all the gunk out. And we got to put the new stuff in and make it pretty so that it works, so that you can do whatever it is you want to do. So when we joined our second mentorship with Steve Rozenberg, it was called the 60-Day Challenge. And that's where I actually met Zasha Smith and Tereva from Maui. And now they're lifelong friends. They're sisters. And he taught us about mindset, because we already had 2 almost failed flips. We were in our first year of real estate investing. We're like, this can't be what it is. This sucks, like really bad. And so we were very hungry for something, and he's the first one who told us about mindset. And the first thing he said was, what's your why? Very cliche, right? We all have to understand what our why is. But we all give very surface answers. The first thing that you come up with is usually your why. Wrong, that's not your why. And he told me that, and I love him because he's very straightforward and blunt, and so am I. So he spoke to my soul. And he's like, you need to ask yourself why at least 7 times. 7 times. And I was like, what does that mean? We looked at each other and we're like, well, our why is money. We need money. We need it now. Hawaii's expensive. We have 2 babies. I need money. And he said, that's not your why. Ask yourself again. I'm like, okay, well, time. I want time. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. He's like, that's not your why. Ask yourself again. So as we kept asking ourselves, we got to the foundation, right? Because when we're renovating our mind, remember that. When we buy a house, if the foundation is janky, do we have to do foundation repair?
Yeah. Yes.
We do, right? Yeah. So he's making us go to our foundation and truly figure out what our why is and what I uncovered. And we had to do this separately and then together. What I uncovered was, after I kept going layers deep to my foundation, was like, well, I really want control. I want control. Because a lot of things happened to me when I was growing up that I didn't have control over. So in my adult life, I want to have control over what happens to me in my life and how I choose to do things. So I was like, okay, well, if you have the control, what does that mean? What does that give you? Next layer. Well, then I feel safe. I have security. I feel okay, right? So, okay, next layer. But if I feel safe and I have security, what is that going to do? It's going to allow me, if I'm able to feel safe and I know how to get that, I can teach other people to do that. And if I know everyone's hurting, everyone's been through shit, we're human beings. And I'm gonna swear, I'm sorry if you don't like it, it's who I am. That if I can get security, I can teach other people that they can have security too. They can feel safe too. And if I'm able to do that, then I'm able to create an impact to my community, to my network, to my sphere of influence. So my real why, after he made me go to my foundation and really figure out who I am, what my triggers are, yeah, self-development, you gotta get real with it. So mindset is self-development and getting real and understanding who you are, because it's all working together. That it's impact. That's my why. So now, he and I are like a freaking coconut tree in a hurricane, okay? We might be flailing on the top a little bit, but our roots run deep because we did that work. I know what my purpose is. I know what my why is. I know what that is. I won't be moved. The market, a lot of shit's happening right now, right? Interest rates are changing. The market's changing. Longer days on market. It's a little bit scary. I'm good. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. I'll see you guys on the other side because my why is solid. Then the second thing he made us do, which was so foreign and it's such a simple concept, was positive affirmations. You guys have all heard of those, right? Yeah. But I'm not talking about, I am smart, I am beautiful. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about writing down your affirmations as your goals and speaking them and feeling them and visualizing them as if they are happening to you in the present tense. So, and it's so funny. When he made me start writing them down, I was like, okay, I'm going to write down my goals, what I want. I sent them to him because he was my coach, my mentor at the time. He said, this is rubbish. That hurt. I was like, what are you talking about? I worked on this. He said, no, this is rubbish. Try again. These aren't big enough. They're not big enough. They're not powerful enough. They don't scare you, he said. If what you're writing down doesn't make you feel uncomfortable to say out loud, then they are not big enough, and do not write them down on that piece of paper. So it changed my life. It changed my entire sphere of thinking. I was like, okay. So, and he said, you need to do them every single morning. Every single morning. And it started to feel weird. But guys, it totally transformed my reality, and we're proof that it works, because I do it every day. Last year, some of you might have already heard this story. Last year, I wrote down every single morning, I am going to be a homeowner in Kailua. That's where I'm born and raised. It's where my kids are now raised. And I'm going to get emotional. But we were renting up until last year. Yeah, we did a bunch of deals. We started to have money. We started to have rentals, but we were still renting. I wanted a home to raise my kids in. And we had a house. We renovated it. We put it on the market. You guys probably, some of you might have come to it when we held a meetup there, and we talked about it. And on the day it was supposed to close, it fell apart, totally fell apart. And I said, damn, God's funny, huh? He said, honey, I'm giving you exactly what you were asking for. And so now I live in a home in Kailua that I get to raise my kids in. I live 2 streets over from my parents. And I did get paid to live in that house. $0, the burst strategy that Zasha talked about. It's a good strategy. You guys should try it. I don't talk about things that I don't believe in and that I don't have proof of concept of. So when I tell you that it works, I'm telling you, it works. So some tips is you have to be consistent. You have to. It might feel weird. You might not like it. Show up and do the work. And you got to go deep. You got to go to your roots. The feelings never come first. Never. Action does. Action comes first, and then the feelings follow. So be consistent and show up. What you put in is what you get out. If you guys are going to do surface level stuff, you're not going to see the fruits of your labor, ever. You got to go deep. That's all I got for mindset. So now it's all you, baby.
Love it. So how do I follow that, right? Like, yeah, right. But she said I'm her better half. She's obviously my better half.
No.
But anyway, okay, so that was the first one. The second one is mentorship. And I know probably all of you guys understand and know what mentorship is. I mean, a lot of people in here that we're family now because of mentorships, right? There's a lot of you guys in here. So Tristan and I have always been huge proponents of mentorships. People come up and they ask us all the time, they're like, how do I get started in real estate? Like, what do I need to do? We always point them in the direction of a couple things, and one of them is mentorship. Super important. To this day, Tristan and I, we set aside tens of thousands of dollars a year to continue learning, going to masterminds and spending money on mentorship because it's that valuable, right? So mentorship is going to be able to cut your learning curve. Sorry if I'm yelling, but I get excited. It's going to be able to cut your learning curve. It will save you a ton of money on costly mistakes, right? The last thing that you want is to get into your first deal and that first deal be your last deal. We have seen it time and time again. So I'm going to talk a little bit, just like 3 things real quick about mentorship because I feel like you guys totally understand it. The first thing is, not all mentorships are created equal, right? How many of you guys know some guy that did 1 deal, maybe 2 deals, all of a sudden he's an expert in the space, he's putting out programs, putting out courses. You have to do your due diligence. You have to research what that mentor is about, right? The best way is really through referral. So talk to people that are in the mentorship. Talk to other people. See if they're getting the value out of it, right? Success leaves clues. So if you look at this mentor's life and you want to emulate what that mentor is like, you want your business to look what that mentor's business looks like, then maybe it might be a good fit for you, okay? So the second thing is you gotta vibe with your tribe. And so this kind of goes into a little bit about that first piece, but you wanna find a mentor that you can vibe with. And what do I mean by that? You need to be able to connect with this person. You need to be able to be inspired and stay inspired by this person, right? You don't want, like I said, success leaves clues. You really don't want to go into a mentorship with somebody that you don't even want your business to look like. There's a ton of strategies out there for real estate investors, right? You need to understand what strategy you want to do and find a specific mentor or mentorship that teaches that strategy, right? So the third thing and last thing, find a mentorship with a community. I think this might be the biggest piece, okay? Because we've been in many mentorships. The first mentorship we were in was Fortune Builders. The second mentorship we were in was Steve's 60-day challenge. Tris talked about that a little bit. And this third mentorship that we're currently in, is Pace Morby Sub 2. I got a ton of Sub 2 family here. But the biggest benefit for us was the community that came with Sub 2. I talk to people a lot of the times and they're like, what mentorship do I need to pick? I'm like, you need to pick one with a community. The last thing you want is to learn all of this stuff, study all these modules, then you get kicked out on your own to figure it out. And it happens a lot of times, right? When you are in the trenches and shit's hitting the fan, you need to have support. You need to have somebody that you can reach out to and they're going to help you, right? You get to leverage your community. In a community, that's what it's about. There's all different experience levels in a community, right? So you can reach out to that next person that's been through what you are going through. And I think the biggest thing, doing real estate with friends is freaking fun, right? So you want a community that you can enjoy with, you can share struggles with, you can be inspired by. So those are quick 3 things for mentorship.
I think that's a great segue into the next foundational thing, which was networking. They kind of go hand in hand together, mentorship and networking. You guys are all here today because you chose to get educated and hopefully network. We believe in it so much that we created Deals and Aloha. Have any of you guys come to that? A deal, if you have, raise your hand. I know I see a lot of familiar faces. We hold a networking event every single month called Deals and Aloha, where we emphasize other investors. People can learn from each other, but then you also have a period of networking. What happens in those rooms, you guys, at those events? Scream it out. What happens at networking events?
You make new friends.
What else?
There you go.
Deals. What else?
Find cash buyers.
Cash buyers. What else?
Raise money. Get referrals.
Okay, so why the heck aren't you networking? That's how you run a successful business. Remember when I said the feelings never come first? The action comes first and then the feelings follow. Do you guys think that I like public speaking? No.
Yeah.
I'm actually very introverted. I'm very happy in the back office making sure everything is good, and he does the sexy stuff, gets the deals, talks to the people. But you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. One of my affirmations, going back to those, because everything goes together, you guys, is I am comfortable being uncomfortable. Every day, I tell myself that, because that's how you grow, that's how you make change, that's how you get deals. You're dealing with real life, people with uncomfortable situations. And the main thing with networking is talking to people, TTP, talking to people, literally opening your mouth. But here's the catch, here's my tip. Not talking about yourself. We all love it, it's a human condition. But the main thing with networking, and this is the tip that I want to leave you guys with, is you have to lead with value. How do you lead with value? A mistake that a lot of new investors make is that they think that they have nothing to offer an experienced investor or their person sitting next to them. Wrong. Change your mindset on that, because it's not true. How you find out what you can offer somebody else is to ask them. Don't talk about yourself. Go up to that person and introduce yourself, obviously. Hi, my name is Tristan. What's your name? What's going on in your business? How is that going? What is your focus? What market are you in? Get to know that person. People don't really care, and you're not going to be remembered by what you did or what you have going on. What are they going to remember?
How you make them feel.
How you made them feel. That's what networking is about. That's how you lead with value. Is if I come up to you and I ask you all the questions, you're going to sit back and you might not even remember my name, but you're going to remember how I made you feel. That's how you go far in this business. That's how you get more sellers to convert and sell to you, is to shut your mouth and listen and make them feel heard. It's so true that networking has changed our lives, and I can tell you, it's so funny how now I'm like thinking about it, and all this stuff goes together. The mindset, the mentorship, because we were at a mentorship mastermind in Arizona last year, and I was networking. I was just in the room talking to all these investors from all over the United States. And because I was able to connect, shut my mouth and just listen, she's now our business partner, and she's a really good friend. And now I'm buying 20-plus unit apartment buildings in Florida with her because of networking, because she remembered how I made her feel, because I connected with her on a personal level, because I just showed up. I don't like showing up, you guys. It never feels good, but it feels good after you do it, right? That's really all I got for networking.
Okay, so last thing, probably, I mean, all of this stuff is important, honestly. All this stuff is important, but this one, when you're looking at deals, right, is probably the most. And this is, like I said, we went from 2 deals to 17 deals. We did all of that other stuff, but this piece that we put into our business really was the game changer for us. So, marketing. We realized that we are a marketing company, a sales and marketing company that real estate is a byproduct of, right? Prior to any kind of marketing we were doing, we were buying deals off the MLS. I'm not going to stand here and say that there isn't deals on the MLS. There are deals on the MLS. We still do deals on the MLS. But this type of marketing that I'm talking about today is direct-to-seller marketing. So we're buying properties that are not listed on the MLS. So what are benefits of doing that? When you see a property on the MLS, it comes into your inbox. It has all the information attached to it. You already know what the seller wants. It's easy, right? But the problem is thousands of other people are also looking at that lead that just came into your inbox, right? So the competition is fierce on the MLS, which normally causes bidding wars. I mean, a lot of times they're already overpriced once they hit the MLS. So the marketing that we did allowed us to be sometimes the only person talking to the lead that we're reaching out to, right? Here in Hawaii. I know in other markets it's a totally different story, but we're talking about Hawaii today. So that's really what this is. I'm going to take a couple other marketing strategies. So like, what is that? What are they? I'm talking about cold calling, text messages, direct mail, PPC, agent outreach, right? All of those strategies are going to allow you to get in front of a seller that's raising their hand, that's saying that they want to sell their house. The benefit to being able to do that, and this is crazy, you guys, because we've had a lot of situations where we are reaching out to a homeowner, and this homeowner has already given up on selling their house. They've been told by agents that their house is too bust up. Their house won't qualify for conventional financing. They need to put $20,000 into the house. Do you think they have that? No, right? Maybe they're so far behind on payments that they threw the towel in. They don't think that there is a way out. We, as investors, marketing right? Reaching out to these people can potentially make a deal happen there. So 3 things for marketing. Tip number 1, pick one thing. If you're like me, and you probably are because you're here and you're an entrepreneur, we all suffer from the same disease. And that's shiny object syndrome. I don't know if you guys do, but I 1,000% do, right? I'm always like, oh, I hear this guy doing this. Oh, I got to go try that. Oh, Daniel's doing PPC. Oh, I got to go do PPC, right? Oh, this guy's cold calling. He's getting success. I need to go do that. What happens is we spread ourselves so thin. We might be okay at all of these things, but we're not excellent at anything. So I would say pick a strategy, get hyper-focused on that strategy, put all your time, money, and effort into one strategy, find some success at it, and then you can branch out. Now, we do a bunch of different strategies, but when I first started, we picked texting, and we just went hard at texting, and we figured that out, right? So pick one strategy. Second thing, become an authority in your space. And what do I mean by that, right? One thing that we were coming across when we were going direct to seller, a lot of people, and you gotta think, like houses here are $1 million, right? So if some rando is calling a seller, right, and it's a cold outreach, and you're saying, I can buy your house for cash, $900,000, what do you think that person's thinking, right? Like, they're like, scam, yeah, right, that doesn't work, right? So what we found is that after we get off that first call, or our VAs get off that first call, what do you think the homeowner does? Google. They go to the computer and they type in your company name, right? They want to see if you have any credibility. The worst thing that can happen is nothing pops up. The best thing and what you want to see happen is they type in your company name and an Instagram profile pops up, a website pops up, a podcast pops up, a LinkedIn profile pops up, Facebook pops up, right? Immediate credibility. They do this, and you need to be able to have that digital footprint, right? I know Joel talks about it all the time, the digital footprint. So that's the second tip. You need to become an authority in your space. Third tip, find the bunnies. And I'll tell you a quick story. What that means, you're probably like, what the heck is this guy talking about? But find the bunnies. So our mentor told us this story. Basically, it was on his first or second deal. He went out to a seller appointment, talking with the seller. Seller had a very specific number in mind that she wanted for the property. Our mentor Pace, he's like, underwrote the deal. Oh man, I can't pay that much, right? And so he tells the lady, sorry, I don't think we're going to be a good buyer for this. But he does something different after that. Instead of turning around, walking away, and going to look for the next lead, he turns to the lady and says, you know, I'm not a good fit for this house, but do you have anything else that I can help you out with? Anything? And the lady looks at him kind of weird. He's like, I mean, you're a real estate agent. I mean, you're a real estate investor. You just want to buy my house, right? And he's like, no, I want to help you with anything that you need help with. She thinks about it. She says, here, come to my back door. They walk to the back door, open the back door. There's a ton of bunny rabbits in the backyard. Okay, this lady bred bunny rabbits and it got out of control. Now she's trying to sell her house, right? And she needs to figure out what she's going to do with these. Pace immediately pops in his head. He calls his mom. His mom knows a vet that can rehome these bunnies. The mom comes over to the house. They gather all the bunnies up, take them away, and rehome those bunnies. Pace says, thank you very much. If there's anything else that I can do to help you, please let me know. A week later, this lady calls Pace and says, hey, Pace, I want to sell you my house for for whatever price you need to buy it at. And Pace looked at us and he said, you got to find the bunnies, right? Because that's what it is. That's what this is. We are not just talking about numbers. We are talking about people that have specific problems, and we are problem solvers. That's what we are. We have to connect with these people. We have to find the bunnies. We need to be able to help these sellers, right? So that's the third tip. I think that's it. But I do want to leave you with something, unless you want to say something.
No. I'm a very to-the-point person. I think it's amazing what the new wealth advisors have put together. I think anytime there's an opportunity to attend an event like this, you guys should jump on it, network, join mentorships, talk to people, work on your mindset. All that stuff is so critical. But over everything else, it's always going to be people over profits. And if you're leading with that, you will be successful in this business. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all the things. If you want to connect with us, that's the best way to. That's the best way to know what we're up to. It's always something different. And then, what you want to
so I want to thank Melina and Oscar and Joel and all of you guys for putting this on. This is special, and we need more of it here in Hawaii.
It's needed. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
So I love the theme, people over profits, because all of us share that mindset, right? That's what's most important to us. So I know you guys know the word aloha. And for Tristan and I, this is how we do it. We live our life with aloha and live and breathe aloha, right? Not a lot of people know exactly what aloha means. So I have some inside information. Our family has been here for generations. I am a native Hawaiian. Culture, tradition, all of that stuff means a lot to me. And my auntie Pilahi Paki actually got the meaning of aloha enacted into state law, right? And so I want to just share her definition with you guys. And then, you guys, this is what it's about. Move through the world with aloha. Dude, yes, real estate's great. If you do it in real estate, then yeah, it's going to benefit you. But just in life in general, right? So she says, aloha means mutual regard and affection and extends warmth and caring with no obligation in return. Aloha is the essence of relationships in which each person is important to every other person for a collective existence. Aloha means to hear what is not said, to see what cannot be seen, and to know the unknowable.
That's all we got. Thank you guys so much.